So let's see how to round up some things like creating loop cuts. So I will select this cube tab and we will go to edge mode by clicking 2 on the keyboard, and just for the sake of clarity I will activate this wireframe, and we are going to see the awesome tool called loop cut. What you can do is you can click over here, and the moment you take over any edge, it is going to highlight how Blender is going to apply the loop. You can use the scroll wheel to zoom in, zoom out, but there are not a lot of great options over here. This triangle indicates that we also have an extra option in it. So instead of that, I will click over here and just keep them aside. Instead of using the tool, I will click Ctrl R. It's loop cut, but in my mind it's a ring cut. R for ring cut. Ctrl R, and it's going to show the exact thing that the tool had been showing. So I will scroll wheel to get extra edges, and you can just click over here. The moment you click there, the mouse will change into this type of cursor, and you can move the edges anywhere and click it. The edges will be placed there, and they are the part of the object now. The great thing about Blender developers is one more thing, that if I use Ctrl R and click this edge and bring it over here, I generally try to do that thing and right click it, the edge will come right back to the exact center of that edge. For example, I can just Ctrl R and click here and just right click, it's there. I have an habit of changing the position. The great thing along with this is if I use Ctrl R, down there you also have extra options. The next thing is saying that you can either use scroll wheel, or on the keyboard you get page up, page down to increase or decrease the number of edges. And the next option is Alt plus scroll wheel to increase the smoothness. What it actually means is right up there, if I use Alt and use the scroll wheel, you see up there the number is changing. Nothing might be happening over here, but the moment I click here, whoop, and if I move the edges, it's going to maintain the smooth shape, and I can just click and there's this weird shape. But notice one thing, that if I use Ctrl R and click over here, Ctrl R and click over here, and now if I use the smooth function, Alt scroll wheel and click, whoop, nothing happened. Why is nothing happening? For that to happen, let me Ctrl Z, select these edges and bring it above a little bit, G, Z, and now if I come over here and give some edges and Alt scroll wheel for smoothness, is going to add that curvature of this thing and going to add a little bit of smoothness. According to the other edges, based on the normal, it's a mathematical thing we will be seeing in a moment, but basically it's used for that. And the next thing, after applying an edge, you see right there are lots of options there, but we will be seeing a lot of them as we go further. Let us keep this object over here. I will scale this thing a little bit like this, so that I could show you the next options that are being made available by the Blender developers. Thanks to the Blender and thanks to the Blender Development Fund, which is going to help us understand how these things are working, because help us help you. If I click over here, let me give some, so Ctrl R, let me give 2 edges over here, Ctrl R, let me give 2 edges over here, right click, and now we are going to play with this single edge. Now right down there, after I apply this edge, we are getting this extra options over here. So with the help of this, I can increase the number of cuts. I can increase the smoothness. Remember, it depends on the normal angle of these vertices. Let me go over here, and here we can see the display normals of the faces. So these are where these faces are actually looking towards, and this is for vertex, and based on this they are trying to give this shape. That's how it's working. So Ctrl R, give it some edges, and then we are going to see how this smoothness is going to work. Okay, you can take way beyond, but now I'm going to maintain the shape so that I could show you what exactly is happening. So the fall off helps us see how smooth it is. Spear, root, sharp is going to exactly show what is actually happening. We have an even number. If I keep an odd number, I get a sharp edge exactly. So linear, best thing is for me right now is smooth. Factor, where you actually want to keep the edges. The great thing about smoothness is Blender is going to maintain that shape as much as possible. So that's that. Even and flipped, we will be seeing in a moment. Like, let me reduce this edge, reduce the smoothness to 0. We can also go downwards so that we will get this kind of shape. Even is going to give us this kind of curvature to the edge. So factor is going to define how that curvature is going to be set. If I use flip, it will be working in the other direction. Clamp, mirror editing and correct UVs we will be seeing in a moment. So we will go to the UV editing to show what one of the options says. So Control R and I will click over here, bring this edge over here, and here if I don't say this correct UV, look what will happen over here and how this is going to be the same and what is going to happen here. I'm clicking this thing. You see there? It's either following the rule, either not following the rule. Just as when your mother gives you something healthy and you are not following the rule, it's going to make your body align with your thing. If she is giving vegetables, it's probably she's correcting your inner workings. Trust me, mother are gods and angels. Clamp. Let me go back to layout, tab, Control R. So after I click this thing, the same things are available over here and we are going to see the clamp thing. Right now it's getting clamped, but if I click C, it's getting off there, right? And now I can take it beyond the edges and create a loop over there. Just as after having Earth, we are going to the Mars without even caring about this is the only planet we have. The next thing, Shift plus Tab. What it actually is doing is, this is the increment based snapping. So we can activate it right away. There, if I click Shift Tab, I'm getting this snapping movement, or I can just switch it off, or I can use the control to either activate when Shift and Tab is off, or I can activate Shift and Tab, which is going to permanently activate the snapping. I can stop using control. So control is just like your inner devil who doesn't want to follow the rules, like don't keep your head outside when something good is going in the class.
God, can you just stop with the philosophy?
Oh, philosophy is the only thing that's keeping the
God, please. I know.
So the next thing is, for that, Control R. The next thing is B snap base. For that I need to see this GRS is the same thing, and Shift is going to precisely move the thing. So let me create a situation over here, like I'm going to create this thing, and also we are going to use this even function and we are going to flip it by clicking F. So this is a weird position over here. Control R, click. I want even and I want flip. Let us keep it something like this. Okay, I'm going to make a duplicate of this thing to show you the specific scenario where you might require what I'm going to show you now. So currently the edge is selected. If it's not, Alt click it, it will select the entire loop, and Control delete to get rid of it. I'm personally showing off the problems, but it's good to show all the
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, please go on with what you're trying.
Okay. So what you need to do is we have the next option called Control R, and we have the thing called Set Snap Base. Control R, click, and I will be activating E and F to get it flipped. And now I'm going to snap my base according to this vertex based on this point. And there we have it, just as we need it. Let me show you what actually we can do. Control R, click, B, click, and this thing. Control R, click, B, click, and click. Control Alt click B click and Alt click B. Control Alt click E and F and B click and click. Control Alt click B click and Control Alt click E and B click and B click and enter. Tap out. So that's the thing. So in the end, it all depends on you. Do you want to beautify your life or just outright complicate it? Brought to you by blenders.com.